Bobby Marks was on Greeny's show, Mike Greenberg, and he was spending a little bit of time talking about kind of what's going to be key for the Lakers this upcoming offseason. I want to spend a little bit of time on that. I'm going to play this video for everybody, and then I got that Bronny James stuff. We'll talk about Jared Allen. There's a few different things that I think we could play. So before I do so, let me get this all kind of queued up here. And I'll tell you guys the conversation real quick, and not kind of a shocking surprise, but ESPN was going through kind of the main teams. Hey, what should the Knicks do this summer, and what should the Golden State Warriors do? What should the Celtics do? And then Lakers, of course, come up as well. So ESPN trying to hit on kind of the key teams and the key franchises. Let me play this for everybody real quick. Take a listen to Bobby Marks, who obviously does a phenomenal job covering the NBA. Nice enough to join this show. He joined the show about a month ago or so. So he's been somebody that's been very nice with his time in the past as well. Here's Bobby Marks talking about what are their main priorities this offseason. Let's take a quick listen.
And of course, they get knocked out in the first round. So, Bobby, what do we expect their offseason to look like?
I expect them to be extremely aggressive this offseason, especially with LeBron likely going into, he's got 1 year left on his contract. I think there are three things here. You've got to take advantage of the $60 million in expiring contracts when you're looking at certainly players like Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura. The second thing is
I'm going to pause it here real quick. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to kind of each one of these bullet points I'm going to get into. All right, so take advantage of the expiring contracts. I think sometimes people might look at Rui, Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, some of these contracts they're on the books and they're going to be off the books by next year. One of the most appealing things for teams in the NBA, of course, it just depends where the franchise is. They want to clear their books. They'll give you a contract. If you want a player and he's got 3 years left on his contract, but you value that player, and there's a team out there that's, we don't care. We're rebuilding. We just want to clear our cap. We want to clear our books. All of a sudden, a contract like Rui or Gabe Vincent or Maxi Kleber, I'm just naming guys off because those are all expiring contracts that I know that the Lakers have. You got to take advantage of that. Bobby Marks is mentioning there's value in those players because they are expiring contracts. So something to keep in mind in regards to that. So yes, granted, the Lakers don't have a ton of assets. They don't have a ton of draft capital. Austin Reeves seems like the biggest asset that the Lakers have that they'd be willing to move from if there's the right player out there. But having expiring contracts is of benefit, and we'll see how the Lakers navigate that this summer. Keep taking a listen.
They showed their hand at the trade deadline when they made that Mark Williams trade that wound up failing him on his physical. They are going to go out and get a center this offseason. We'll see how that goes. You've got one first-round pick to do that. And then the third thing is keep an eye on August 2nd. That is when Luka is eligible to sign that extension. So you're trying to build for the now, but I think you also have to have an eye for the future when eventually LeBron does retire here.
So that's an interesting piece of this to me, Alan, is that
I'm going to let this play here for a quick second, but those are the three things that he mentioned. Take advantage of the expiring contracts. Obviously, get a starting center. He said they showed their hand. Obviously, this isn't a secret. Everybody knows this. The Lakers, they got nothing until they go get a big. There's no noise to be made. And then he said the Luka Doncic extension, which I think everybody just assumes Luka's going to sign an extension August 2nd. We go from there. The one piece that I will say, and I want to play one more piece of this because Greeny says something, Alan Hahn says something that I think is worth talking about. The one other thing he mentioned is you're trying to compete now, but you're also trying to build for the future. Is that possible? I mean, can you really do that? Yesterday I played I read a quote, Danny Green, basically saying that he doesn't like the formula the Lakers have. He doesn't believe in the LeBron and Luka formula when LeBron is 40 plus years old. I threw out a scenario that really the only way LeBron and Luka can win a championship together, you better be trading another asset, all your assets really, to go get a true big that now becomes the second best player on your team. So LeBron slides down and he's basically your third option. Is that realistic? Probably not. But that trying to build for the future and also trying to compete for a championship now, you know how difficult that is? Like, I don't really know of too many teams that have the ability to do that or successfully do that. Let me play the final clip here, and then I'll look at some of your comments.
That you've got Tatum is what he is, right? He's a young player. He had a catastrophic injury, but he'll be back, and, knock on wood, he'll be great. With the Lakers, you have to both have a plan to try and win the title next year, which feels within grasp, and also have something put together for what will then become Luka's Lakers into the future.
I'm not even worried about that. I'm not.
You're just winning next year.
This is your window right now. You still have LeBron James. With those two guys, you have a chance to win a championship because of their greatness together. What you can control is the most important need on this roster is a center. So they tried Mark Williams. He would have been a great fit. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. But I expect that they're going to be calling every single team that has a big man. And here in New York, they should be calling the Knicks about Mitchell Robinson. If the Knicks are trying to get assets, if they're trying to figure out what they want to do with their roster going forward, maybe even need to save money, perhaps that's a team that that's a guy the Lakers should be targeting. He would be a perfect fit on that team.
It's so funny. And it's a good clip right there. I mean, whether you guys are, however you guys look at that clip, I do think there's a little bit of like, all right, there's from my perspective, there's like such desperation of the Lakers trying to get a big. I don't care who it is. I mean, if you were watching the Knicks, I was watching all those games between the Knicks and the Pacers. Watched most of them against the Celtics as well. Mitchell Robinson was a nice player. Definitely a player that. Offensive rebounds, can fill a need. He's also got weaknesses. You can foul Mitchell Robinson, take him to the free throw line. You can almost kind of play him off the floor. So it's not that he's the perfect center, but doesn't it just seem like any center anybody mentions, it's like, we'll take him. Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is. You feel like you can't be greedy by any stretch of the imagination. And that's going to be part of the challenge, obviously, for the Lakers. I think the main thing to kind of take away with what Bobby Marks said was, yes, you got to go try to get a big, but how can you use your expiring contracts to your advantage? And then, I thought they were a little too optimistic of like, yeah, they could compete for an NBA championship. If you got LeBron and Luka, that's all you need. I mean, obviously, the Lakers really, really, really have to figure out. Really got to figure out the rest of their roster, and we'll see how they're able to do that. But Bobby Marks kind of breaking down the three things that he thinks the Lakers are going to need the most this upcoming summer. All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.